Hi everybody, my name is Joey Fight from thephysicaleducator.com, and today I'd love to share with you an awesome striking and fielding game called Danish Longball. Build 1 of this game is called Beat the Fielders, and to set up, the teacher will create a playing area by establishing 2 lines and 2 bases that are about 20 meters apart. There is a front line and a back line, with a square base set up adjacent to the front line that will serve as the home base, and another square base set up adjacent to the back line which will serve as the runner base. With the playing area set up, the teacher then divides the class into 2 teams and selects one team to start at bat and the other team to start in the field. The batting team sets their batting order and gets in a line beside the home base, with the first player getting into the base itself. Meanwhile, the fielding team gets into a scattered formation beyond the front line. Each player should be at least 5 big steps away from any other teammates. The teacher begins with a ball in their hand. Once the teams are both set up, the teacher throws the ball into the playing area. As soon as they do so, the player in the home base attempts to run to the runner base and then back. As soon as they get back, the next player in line does the same. For every player that gets back to the home base, the batting team scores a point. To stop the batting team from scoring as many points as possible, the fielding team must successfully field the ball. To do so, the player closest to the ball picks it up, throws it to a teammate, and then sits down. This continues until the last fielding player standing receives the ball and calls freeze. Once they have done so, the batting team tallies up their points, the ball is returned to the teacher, and the 2 teams switch roles. Build 2 of this game is called Freeze Ball, and in this build we're ready to start introducing some of the rules of Danish Longball. The fielding team now picks one player to play the role of pitcher and another to play the role of catcher. The catcher stands a few feet behind the home base and the pitcher stands on the pitcher's mound, which is marked by a hoop. The first player on the batting team steps into the home base with the striking implement, which can be anything from a real bat to a small foam bat or even a racket depending on the skill level of your students. The pitcher then underhand pitches the ball for the batting player. The pitch should be within the reach of the bat and between shoulder and knee height. The batting player then attempts to strike the pitched ball. Whether they strike the ball or swing and miss, they have to immediately drop the bat within the home base and make their way towards the runner base. As soon as the batting player makes their initial run, the fielding team attempts to get the ball back to the pitcher. Once the pitcher is in possession of the ball, they can call freeze. However, if the batting player makes it to the runner's base before freeze is called, they may choose to run back home. Making it back home earns a point for their team. However, if the batting player does not believe that they can make it home before freeze is called, they may opt to wait on the runner's base until another batting player has had a turn at bat. This means that you can have multiple players in the runner's base at any time. If freeze is called when a batting player is running from the runner's base back to home base, that player must return to the runner's base and wait for the next player's turn before they may attempt once again to run home to score a point. Now, if the fielding team successfully fields the ball to the pitcher and freeze is called before the batting player can make it to the runner's base, that player may continue to the base, however, they may not return home during the next at-bat. They will have to wait a turn on the runner's base before attempting to score a point. Once every player on the batting team has had a turn at bat, the batting team may tally up their points and the 2 teams switch roles. In Build 3, we're ready for Danish Longball, in which we'll introduce a system for getting players out. Using the same setup as in Build 2, the batting player once again has to run whether or not they hit the pitched ball. The fielding team now has a few options for getting the batting player out, which eliminates their ability to score a point during that turn. First of all, if the batting player throws the striking implement outside the home base after having swung it, they are automatically out. If a fielding player catches a struck ball out of the air, the batting player is also out. If a fielding player in possession of the ball manages to tag a batting player with the ball, the batting player is out. What the fielding team is trying to do is to get 3 players from the batting team out so that they can cause a changeover, in which case the 2 teams switch roles. Just something that's important to know here, fielding team players can also tag out players who are on their way back to the home base. Also, once a player on the runner base crosses the back line, they may no longer return to the runner base, so they have to try and make it to the home base, which means that the fielding team can tag them out as long as they haven't made it safely past the front line. The game goes on like this, with the batting team continuing to attempt to score points by successfully making it to the runner base and then back to the home base. The batting team continues to score as many points as possible until the fielding team successfully gets 3 players out. In the fourth and final build of the game, the fielding players may no longer run while in possession of the ball. That means that in order to get a batting player out, the fielding players will need to relay the ball to get the ball to a teammate who's in position to make the tag. Fielding players also have an additional way of getting batting players out. If the fielding player in possession of the ball manages to touch the batting player below the knees as that player is running between bases, the batting player will be out. However, fielding players may only use an underhand throw to tag batting team players when using this method. So that's Danish Longball, a striking and fielding game which we've broken down into 4 builds. If you're looking for more information on this game, such as modifications, related assessment tools, the grade level outcomes it focuses on, or if you just want to share your experience playing it with your students, be sure to check out the game page, which is linked in the description below. Once again, my name is Joey Fight from thephysicaleducator.com. Thanks so much for watching, and happy teaching.